All right, hey there, this is Jeff McCormack. Been watching Ron's videos there on Mind Over Metal, and I saw the little contest a couple weeks ago and decided that I would go ahead and submit an entry. I haven't been thinking about doing some vinyl videos myself, but have only started recently collecting, like in the past year or so, and so my collection is only a few hundred. Don't know if I have enough to keep a channel going totally, but maybe one day, but this would be a good start. So he wanted to see 5 pieces of music, albums or CDs or whatever, that have to do with space. Well, I decided I knew exactly 1 or 2 that I could pull from vinyl. I said, well, let's see if I can do it all from vinyl, because I've got hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of CDs, but hey, we're going to focus on vinyl. And now he already gave away the 2. I could go with the old Ace Frehley. We got Frehley's Comet, and of course the newer Ace Frehley, and it's got the song on here, Outer Space. But hey, it's Space Ace. We're not going to go there because that's just too easy of a... We won't take those. I dug a little deeper to see what we had here. And then I thought about showing this one only because, Ron, recently you did a video on Raven, and you had actually mentioned not having this album, but I pulled it and noticed that it's got a song in here, Forbidden Planet and Star War. It's kind of spacey, but we're not going to count that. Anyway, so first up, this is an album that only a handful of people may know. This goes back to way back into the 80s when people at church used to try to turn me onto this band because I listened to a lot of heavy metal. I appreciate their stuff a lot now, but back then it was kind of not so cool. But anyway, talking about Petra, and this is their album, Not of This World. So it's got the spaceship flying off, it's got the planets. Anyway, so definitely qualifies. So moving on, this is one I didn't even think about until I was flipping through them, and I thought, oh, wait a minute, that's right, what is the cover of that one? This is actually a fairly new release, came out in the past year. This is the Sweet and Lynch. This is Michael Sweet of Stryper, George Lynch of Dokken and Lynch Mob and all that things. And as you can see, the album's called Unified, but as you can see, it's got the planet, it's breaking apart, it's got the little moon up here. So definitely space related. It's like a puzzle, and it's got all the little space pieces. Great album, by the way. Let's see here. Next up is another one that I didn't even think about until I flipped through it. This one's a new release also. One of my favorite bands from the 90s, and then they disappeared for a while, and then this is a first album they've come out with in quite a while. And it's a great album, and then I realized that it had all the imagery and everything needed for this. This is the Galactic Cowboys, and their album is called Long Way Back to the Moon. See the moon. Anyway, if you haven't checked these guys out, really, really, really good stuff. And this is their newest album. Like I said, it's been a while. And this is a return to a lot of the early sound that they had. It's got the original guitar player from the first couple of albums. They had a guitar player change. And their sound changed a little bit on their last few albums. But the first couple albums are still some of my favorite, and that one has a real vibe of that old stuff. Anyway, and then I happened to just run across this because this is something I actually picked up recently at the used record store, and I didn't have this back in the day. I had the first album by this band, and so I wasn't as familiar with this album. So when I saw it, I thought, well, let me grab it because I've never owned it on anything, much less vinyl. So I went ahead and grabbed it. This is Prophet with their album Cycle of the Moon. It's got a bicycle on the moon. Very interesting. Too much of a glare there. Anyway, this one I think they were like a late 80s band. This is way too small to be reading in the semi-dark. Anyway, this was their second album. Good stuff. And last but not least, for number 5, found this one. Again, another 80s release that I believe just got reissued on vinyl and CD and everything with bonus tracks. But this is the original Music for Nations release. This is Q5 with Steal the Light. It's got a spaceship and a planet and the planets. Anyway, this is, if you're not familiar with this band from the 80s, they put out like 2, 3 albums, I think. This has got guitar player Floyd Rose. If you're a guitar player and you've had the Floyd Rose pickups and stuff, he was the designer of that. And this is a band that he played in back in the day. I believe they're a Washington-based band. Anyway, good stuff. I'm not sure if I'll pick up the reissue or not. Have the original, but it'd be kind of nice to have it. Anyway, that's it. I could have went a little more, but I think 5, 6, whatever we got there with these fairly thrown in should be enough. So hopefully you all enjoyed, and thanks a lot. Enter me in and win whatever this mystery prize might be. Thanks a lot.